that he took that went through Central America and South America and ended up in Cuba and went through the Panama Canal. And
why did you want to talk about this last night? All of a sudden you're into it.
Well, Jay McGraw was in here last night. And we're, kind of talking about his book and stuff.
Boy.
But I'm interested in all that stuff, the canal and all that kind of business. There's a few things I like about the canal. One, I like to defy nature and God.
And the man.
And the man. But if anyone ever looks at a map and you see that little sliver of Panama, and then you see the horn that you must go around if you can't make it through that little sliver, it is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for hundreds and hundreds of years, people have dreamt of dragging their boats across that short stretch of land. And I don't know, maybe they used to physically
for a while they
cart them across. I'm sure they did.
And then, get something on the other side.
But now it all works. Another thing I like about the Panama Canal is the French had at it for about 100 years, and eventually we kicked those frogs out of there and said, look, you want to get this done right? You get some Americans. Imagine the French trying to do some big dirty job like that.
Yeah, they all died of yellow fever.
Yeah, they all got stung by mosquitoes.
They tried to do a sea level connector.
Right.
And we did is we made a lake and made these locks that lift you up to the lake.
The lake's up in the middle?
Yeah.
All right.
And then locks bring you back down to the ocean.
So Drew was going through the rainforest, getting stung by wasps.
Oh, I heard all this last night. That's right. I forgot I impressed you with all the stories.
Drew told me on the ride home last night on the phone. Drew was riding horses through the rainforest. It was like I don't know, the only thing I can think of is a porn movie.
Indiana Jones.
That's my only reference. Yes, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Going to Cuba and seeing what a colossal dump that place is and how crazy Castro is and how communism is just completely falling apart.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, everybody, if communism is a decent way of government, why are all communist countries dumps?
Not just dumps, just disasters. Just total disaster.
Is Cuba a disaster?
Disaster.
There's no car in Cuba newer than 1945?
58.
58's like the newest car in Cuba?
Yeah, the moment the revolution began, anything new ceased to exist.
So as soon as they kicked the mob out of there, that was it. The place went downhill. Say what you want about the mob, but they run a tight ship.
Good economy, right?
Well, that's kind of what they are.
Their economic literacy is very high.
Yeah. So Cuba's falling apart.
Yeah.
Castro's insane.
Yeah.
You met with Castro?
Met with him. You want to see it?
You got a picture of Castro?
Oh, yeah.
You got a tape of Castro?
Yeah.
You allowed to bring video cameras into Cuba and
it's not
photograph Castro?
Yeah, it's not crazy. It's not controlled in a sort of covert way. It's controlled in an overt way.
I see.
It's you want to do business with us? Fine. Join the revolution. Bring your country. Bring your business. We'll take it. Fine.
What revolution is going on over there? It's everything's dead, isn't it?
Yeah, the revolution. 1958. The communist revolution. The world's going to be all one brotherhood.
They're going to be we're going to be communists.
It's a revolution. Come join.
Ever since we
invest in human capital, not buildings and paint. And automobiles.
Ever since the Soviet Union cut them off, it's just got to be a dump over there.
It's so obvious how many billions of dollars they poured in to keep that afloat.
The Soviets.
Oh my God!
All right.
And when they pulled out, it just sunk like Atlantis.
Well, how much longer can Cuba be communist?
15 years.
It's not going to be that long.
No.
Okay.
Well,
and Castro, is he just a rambling madman?
Yes.
So Drew, you went and had a meeting with Castro, not you personally.
This group we were with.
But a group.
Yeah.
And Castro got up there and spoke to you guys.
He spoke, and he has a thought process that's disordered. He's what's called tangential.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what manic depressives get. And there was a Cuban scholar with us, and he said he's been up there, he's heard him speak, where he becomes so disorganized, no two-word connects. It's
really?
Just complete gobbledygook.
Worse than, you'd say, like Maxine Waters, the woman?
Makes her look erudite.
Worse than
Ozzy.
Worse than Ozzy, really?
Ozzy seems like a scholar.
Really?
Oh, yes. This is, we let us bring our kids in. He took some questions from the kids, and one of his kids goes, you love baseball. We know that. What position do you play? 20 minutes later. 20 minutes. He's talking about boxing and swimming.
It was worse than one of our callers?
Absolutely.
All right, think about that.
Oh, we don't give our callers 20 minutes.
Well,
we cut them off right away.
That's
and
true.
this is the problem with this guy.
Wow. So Castro, in your mind, is
Disturbed.
out of it, disturbed?
No, not smart and charming and impressive, but crazy. And his delusion is shared by the population that remains on that island.
Uh-huh.
They're all like sleepwalking.
You think he's circumcised?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good times.
Yeah.
Dr. Drew, meeting with Castro. And, meeting with Castro is smart. It's sort of like, I imagine there was a time in the mid-'70s when going to see Elvis in a Vegas show was probably tantamount to us going and seeing Siegfried and Roy or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A little passé.
Oh, yeah.
A little been there, done that. But now, if you went and saw Elvis, you're cool. Or the Beatles, obviously. There's a handful of people. Drew, when Castro kicks the bucket in the next 5 years, you can then say for the next 6 years of your life, or however long you're here, before your wife kills you, that you went and met with the man. And that will make you cool.
That, and how about my kids? They were there.
Yeah, you met your kids?
No,
I see.
I see. You talk about how I spoiled them with Disneyland and stuff. Imagine this now.
Kids met Castro. That's right.
And their idea was, I said, look, people are not going to believe you when you say this. You got to just remember this moment. I know it's boring, but remember.
Oh my God, it must have been boring.
Oh my God, yes.
Paige?
Yes.
You're 25?
Yeah.
What's up?
I have been considering getting breast implants. I'm not unsatisfied with the size. It's just the firmness and whatever. So I went and had a consultation, and my problem is that I've done a lot of research on the internet. I've looked at the FDA website. I've looked at so many things, and I get so many conflicting answers as far as health problems that can come from this.
You got conflicting answers from the FDA?
No. Between what the FDA says and what the plastic surgeon at the consultation said.
Okay, what did he say?
He said like a risk of capsular constriction, the blood clots or the tissue that forms, scar tissue that forms is like 4%.
Right.
Rupture, he said that very few women, he had been doing this for 20 years, and like very few women had come back needing them replaced. And whereas on the internet I'd read, 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, redos for many women is not uncommon.
Well, what about redos now?
Again, it's a lot of capsular scarring, a lot of movement, a lot of many women find redo is necessary.
Anything different in the last 10 years beside the saline to silicone or silicone to saline?
Yeah, there are different kinds of, there are different kinds.
Has it procedure for installing them? Is that technique improved? I imagine it would have.
Yeah, but there's a lot of different ways. They put it above the muscle, under the muscle. They go from the belly button or under the arm.
Here's what I'm saying. If you installed a saline one 10 years ago, how much longer is the life expectancy of that now? How far have we come?
Saline implant, I don't think has been a change. It's the same.
The same?
Yeah.
As 10 years ago?
I would say.
But here's what I'm saying. I got to talk about cars for a second. A car engine's the same as it's been for 75 years.
Yeah.
But now the transmission is sealed, and you don't have to change the transmission fluid it's the same transmission, it's just sealed.
Yeah.
Is it the same boom job, but instead of having to redo it in 10 years, you can redo it in 30 years? Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're asking.
Where have they come with this in the last 10 or 15 years?
There are different qualities to the surface and the outer, in the way it sticks and the way the decreased risk of capsular.
All right, well, Paige, just go get it done. Who cares?
Why aren't you doing the silicone?
I can't do the silicone.
Yeah, you can now.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. From what I've read, I wanted to get one of the two FDA approved.
Okay.
Do they have an FDA approved silicone?
No. From what I've read about the silicone is fairly dangerous, and as far as when they rupture, the silicone gel is not very easily absorbed by the body, whereas saline is a salt water.
Yeah, but the silicone feels better than the saline.
Right. Yeah, I've read that too.
I've felt both of them.
Who's number one?
Outside of a woman. No, Minka had silly string in her boobs. She had something bizarre in there. Yeah.
What did she have?
Some strands of something. It wasn't solid.
Yeah.
She had trouble beating off to her that night on the ride home. It was so difficult. I wish she hadn't told me that. Jeez, I was halfway on the freeway before I made. Okay. Hey, Paige?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want?
I'm just really looking for some straight answers. I just don't understand why I'm getting different, you know.
Because there is no straight answer. Whenever you get conflicting answers like that, it's because no one knows for sure. Although the prevailing wisdom is that a lot of the concern about this procedure and the silicone and everything was overstated. There is still some concerns, and it's a surgical procedure, and there's certain risks. But
get the saline, and here's what you do: you find a reputable doctor, and you use him and trust him, and that's how he got his reputation.
That's right.
Stop freaking out, Cindy.
Yes,
you're 32.
I am.
What's up?
I just found out the week before Christmas that my mother put a baby up for adoption 2 years before I was born.
Was it her baby?
Yeah, it was her baby.
I see.
Yes, it was. And
how old are you, Cindy?
32. So he's 35.
All right. And what's the problem?
Not a problem. Well, I guess kind of. I guess he's come looking for her, and I confronted her, and she said that it was true, and yes, he's come looking for her, but she's not giving any information out.
How did you find out about it?
Actually, my stepdad told me.
Oh, man. Are they still together?
No, they're not.
Was this, so this was around the holidays?
Yeah, well, he's like my dad. He was married before I was born, basically.
Okay, so
I mean, he's not my biological dad, but he's been there.
Okay, now she doesn't want to see the kid she gave up for adoption.
No, she does. She says she does.
Why does this involve you, Cindy? You're 32. Do you have your own kids?
I have my own kids.
All right, what's the big deal? This is your mom's problem. Do you want to help her with it?
Yeah, I do. I'm like,
right. Well, she doesn't want the help.
Well, can I go find them by myself?
Well, wait a second. Wait a second, Cindy.
Yes, sir.
You said that he came looking for her.
Yes.
And you said that she would like to see him.
Yes.
And those two Nimrods can't figure this out between the two of them?
My mother is so screwed up.
Yeah, we're getting that. Getting that. What's her deal?
I think there's a lot of stuff I don't know still, but she had a real crummy childhood. Yeah. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I always grew up thinking my grandparents were like the best there could ever be, and now stories are coming out that my grandfather was a real piece of work towards her. Yeah. But I mean, he did not.
You're not helping me understand. Is she a drug addict?
No, she's not. But I mean, I can say she's on her 5th marriage.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, why do you need to help her find him?
Have you always been?
And why can't he find her?
Well, I think she keeps making the excuse. Her excuse why they haven't met yet is because something with the adoption agency that she needs certain papers.
Look, how many kids do you have, Screwball?
Me?
Yeah.
3.
3?
Yeah.
That's 3 too many.
I know it is.
That's 2.5 too many for you to handle.
We're done. My husband got fixed.
All right. You guys still together?
Yeah. 13 years.
You have 3 kids not to screw up.
Yeah, I know.
That's your mission in life.
I think I'm doing a good job.
Okay. That's fine.
Hope.
Now, listen, that's fine. But this whole thing about getting this adult man hooked up with your crazy marriage-happy mom is just a bizarre distraction that keeps you away from the job of being a mother to your 3 kids.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a curiosity towards who this guy is.
Well, listen, do you have a biological brother or another one?
No. Well, I have 2 half sisters.
All right, and what about them? How are they doing?
They're doing good.
Okay.
Amazing enough. We're all semi-normal.
Right, but they're not taking the world by storm, though.
No.
Okay, well, there you go. You're going to be more disappointed when you see this guy.
Probably.
Okay. There you go. More disappointment.
Just let her handle her own affairs.
All right.
Please.
This focus, here's what I'm worried about.
Taking a focus
I don't want a distraction from your marriage and your 3 kids.
Right.
Okay? If this thing works out, this thing works out. That's all I'm saying. Everybody's a disappointment. Don't ever meet anybody. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you don't want to meet Adam or me.
Well, no, there's
huge disappointment.
No, there's a couple of people on TV and radio that you should want to meet.
No, we'd be disappointments.
Listen, here's what I'm saying.
I've seen you meet people. Here's your reaction to them.
Beat it. Well, I tell them to beat it if they come up to me and
talk to you. Yeah, okay.
How dare you? That chick said to me, are you as big an asshole in real life as you are on TV?
There you go.
So I told her to beat it. Beat it. And here's my point.
All right.
If I take a random sampling of the guys I went to high school with, I realize they're pretty regular guys doing sort of mundane, boring things. If they're lucky they're not strung out on something right now, then that's what I'm saying. Her brother's just going to be that.
Yeah.
20 pounds overweight, got a job.
Yeah.
Working at a supermarket as a assistant manager. She doesn't need that. All right. Stop writing, Drew. I can always hear it. I always hear it. Sheila?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Should I stop breathing, too, because you might be able to hear that? Okay.
Sorry?
Sheila, you're 36. What's up?
Okay. I caught the tail end of the program last night, and Dr. Drew mentioned that he would write for the morning after pill for any people who would call his office.
Yes. Well, no, I want to be that. I want to be that.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I called California Medical Association 3 times today and emailed them. I am hell-bent on this.
Okay.
Now, all I know is that the law in California has changed so that within this state, the pharmacist only needs some sort of. Is it in Utah yet?
Right. Okay. It's in Utah, but it requires a prescription.
All right, hold on. Sheila's calling
from Salt Lake City.
Thank you, Drew.
Right.
Such great radio.
In California and Oregon, a few other states now, you can do it just with an agreement with the pharmacist. And so I want to have an agreement with lots of pharmacies that people can get that.
Okay, basically, if you'll allow me to use your name, because I'm at work right now and I work the graveyard shift. And I get a lot of people coming in and asking me for that. And if you'll allow me to use your name as the prescribing MD, I'm more than happy to do it.
Can I do it across state lines like that?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to have. Do I need to fill anything out?
No.
Really?
No.
You don't need my license number or anything?
The location where I work, our system is universal. I've got your name on our system.
Hold on.
Oh, good. Okay.
Would you guys be quiet for a second? Sheila, I'm guessing you're a pharmacist?
Yeah.
Right.
And you're working out of the Salt Lake City area.
Exactly.
Okay. All the stuff we never get to on this show.
Can you fax me what happens and how many you're able to issue?
I'd be glad to.
Do I need to follow up on anything? Do we need to document anything?
I document the prescription as it's filled, and I would be glad to fax over whatever documentation you would like.
The only thing I want to be sure of is that people don't start using this as a contraceptive. You know what I mean?
Right. I can get a history. And
Just make sure they're not repeat offenders.
All right. Well, wait a second. Now, let me ask this. I'll put Sheila on hold for a second.
But Sheila, thank you for calling. We need like a national network. I want to set something up here. Seriously.
Okay, we're talking about the morning after pill. We've been talking for a long time about getting this into young people's hands or people who need it. And we've also been talking about the crazy hypocrisy of this California state law that you needed a prescription to get this thing when it was nonsense, when it was safe and effective. So, Drew, something has passed in the last few weeks or few days that says you can now get it without a prescription.
In California.
But with what? I don't understand the rest of this.
That's what I'm trying to look into.
You can get the morning after pill with what? What does the pharmacist need?
I think you need some sort of form in California filled out by the physician. But Sheila is saying she doesn't even need that.
A form filled out from the physician for each and every one?
For each pharmacist.
For each pharmacist. Yeah. What does that mean? I don't understand.
I made several calls today to try to find out. So
they never called you back?
They never called me back.
Idiots.
And then I emailed, and I never got an email response.
Yeah. They're really interested in helping over there, aren't they?
Well,
but let me say this. You put a form in at a pharmacist?
And probably in that form is sort of an agreement that he'll or she will fax back what they've done or something to give you some history of what they're doing.
But I don't understand what good that does.
To me, it takes the liability off the pharmacist, probably. I don't know. Ask Sheila. Maybe she knows what the argument's about.
Sheila?
Yes.
Why do you even need a physician with this?
Okay. It's just the law. In Utah, it is a prescription item.
But in California, it's not, though. They're still requiring some sort of paperwork connection between the pharmacist and the doctor.
Honestly, I'm not familiar with California law, so I couldn't comment on that.
Okay.
All right, baby. Thanks.
Thank you, Sheila.
Do you want to talk to her off the air?
Yeah, I want to put her on hold. Hey, Tara, hold on to Sheila for a few minutes, will you? Thanks.
I don't understand. If something's not prescription, then doesn't it become Rolaids at a certain point? And then
maybe
how does that work? Can I just walk in and buy some aspirin?
Maybe there's some sort of process for which it becomes like that.
Let me do a little recreation. Maybe this is just a little... You missed it. You missed it because Drew was turning his arm like he was turning the crank of an old movie theater while he was movie camera while he was talking. Well, Drew, what do you say? You want to take another?
But it's in fact.
Sherry. Oh.
Hi.
Hey, you're 45.
Yes. I love you guys, and I have a question here for Dr. Drew. I just recently have been diagnosed with 2 large corpus luteum cysts that's encapsulated my left ovary, and I was just wondering what you think can cause that.
Being female.
Being female, huh?
Well, what's luteum mean?
Corpus luteum. These are just simple cysts. Nothing.
Nothing. How would they?
The problem, pretty much everyone gets these. The problem is at your age, they need to make sure that's what they are. And sometimes they would take them out if there's any question about what's inside them, if they're not homogeneous.
I thought corpus meant corpse.
Body. Corpus.
No.
Corpus luteum, it's the body, the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle.
So body of...
Luteum.
Okay. I might name my kid Luteum.
How about your rock band?
Luteum Carolla?
Yeah. Ooh, Luteum. Yeah.
Was I telling you that story about Tony Carolla?
No.
No? I got to say it real fast. You know, it's one of these things. These stories, I know, they're never impressive when you're not there, because when other people have things that happen that are sort of serendipitous or something or coincidental, it's like, big deal. But just be there with me for a second. I'm driving in about 2 weeks ago. I'm in Las Vegas. I'm driving in with Jimmy and another guy to record some phone calls for our prank phone call show. Pat Cooper, the old-time Italian comedian who's on Stern all the time, who yells all the time. They always interview him whenever they do any of these Rat Pack retrospectives or anything, and he talks about, playing the Copa with Frank. He's one of these guys, real blowhard. Sweet old guy, but old-time comedian and super Italian. His real name is Pasquale Pastrami or something. It's a crazy Italian name. But anyway, Pat Cooper. I'm driving in and I'm complaining, as I normally do, to Jimmy and this writer friend of ours who are in the van on the way to the recording studio. This Adam Carolla is a curse, this name Adam. Right. Everyone thinks I'm a Jew.
This. Right.
If my name was Tony Carolla, everyone would know I was Italian.
Right.
And people say to me all the time, and I believe because of the name Adam, what kind of name is Carolla?
Right.
And Jimmy has a theory that there's some confusion because of the car name, too. But there's difficulty. What kind of name is that, Carolla? I don't know what nationality that is, everyone says. That's a Carolla. It's a very Italian-sounding name, if you really think about it. It's the Adam that screws it.
Yes.
Because how many Italian Adams are there?
Right.
Only my parents would be stupid enough to name their kid Adam when he's Italian. Now, between the nappy hair and the comedy life, everyone thinks I'm Jewish when I'm Italian.
So what's wrong with that?
Nothing. But I'd rather be Italian. I'd rather be what I am.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I am what I am.
Yeah, and let's face it, Italians are a little more cool than Jew. I mean, that's obvious. So Italians pull down more tail than Jews.
Come on.
So I said if they'd name me Tony, everything would be fine. Tony Carolla. He's Italian paisan. So I'm sitting next to Pat Cooper. He's making these crazy phone calls. I'm sitting next to him in this recording studio writing jokes on a Marks-a-Lot board feverishly and handing it to him. We get along pretty well, even though he's an abrasive guy. And about halfway into it, he turns to me and he looks at me and he goes, You're not Adam. You're not Adam. That's not Adam. You're a Tony. You're a Tony. I'm going to call you Tony. I thought, this is the most bizarre thing in the world. I just had a long-winded discussion about how I should be called Tony on the drive over.
Oh, my God.
And I've had not had the I should be called Tony discussion in years with anybody, and nobody has ever pointed at me and said, you need to be called Tony. And he didn't pay much never mind to the story I told him. He just kept going. Yeah, and for the rest of the day, he called me Tony. Now, how does that work? How does that work?
That kind of stuff happens to you a lot.
Where's the energy?
A lot.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. What is that?
I decide to name myself another name, and a guy I never met before decides to call me that name, too, within an hour. of me labeling myself
how
that.
How many experiences like this you and I had?
A lot.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah.
You know, it's great, though, about Jimmy's freaking out and the writer who was with us freaking out, and Pat Cooper's like, yeah, so what?
Yeah, Tony, shut up.
Pat was great, too, and then we're going to break. The one great thing about Pat is, I'll give you the Pat Cooper impersonation. Do you got a phone ring? Now, we would call people and say, Pat, we're calling an Italian restaurant in Brooklyn. You're Pasquale Capulli. All right, here we go. They're not there. They're not there. Hang up. Let's go. Let's do another one. They're not there. And I'd be right when I'd be saying, Pat, the phone only rang. The person would pick up. But he would do it every single call. Be one ring, be sitting there looking around, twiddling his thumbs. Not there. Hang up. Let's go. Let's do another. He would announce they're not there at the second ring on every call. And every time he made the announcement, they would pick up. And then the one time he didn't make the announcement after 5 in a row, of course, they didn't pick up.
We'll be right back.
All right, we'll be back with more Dr. Drew and Tony Carolla after this. Hey, everybody, Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew brought his video camera in and is showing me pictures of the Panama Canal.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting engineering project, that Panama Canal. Always been interested in that. And, yeah, that was a video reference that Anderson did there from the audio file. Also, I don't know how many people died building that thing, probably a couple thousand easily.
Oh, no, tens of thousands.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, over the entire span of the attempts. Oh, sure.
That was back in the good old days when if we took on a decent-sized construction project, we could figure that a couple hundred folks would die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just an average construction project.
Well, it'd be like, there'd be X amount of white dudes who died and then a huge amount of sort of indigenous native types who would bite the dust.
That's precisely what happened with this thing is they hired all these Caribbean guys from around the surrounding islands.
Oh, my God. All died. And they didn't even have any, it's not like Caterpillar was in business back then. It was just a bunch of steam shovels and mules and guys just taking out buckets of rocks by hand and just dying there. And listen, everybody, you think your job sucks. It may suck, but at least you're not dying on it.
And they would make like 12 cents a day.
Right. And then they'd go to some shanty camp and waste it all at the community store where they were gouged. Some whore would come in and overcharge them for BJ. What a life. Listen, all you broads who are constantly complaining about your lives. Think of all the millions and millions of guys that have died just on the job. How many women have died on the job? Like 3? You know what I'm saying? I want to know. I want to see a number for that. All you broads complaining about your tough life all the time. Millions of guys died just working. Summer?
Yeah.
You're 15?
Yep.
What's up? Hold on. Drew.
Stop this.
I told you I want to watch the canal footage.
That was the end of it.
Oh. Okay.
I was trying to see what was.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Summer. You're 15. I want to watch Drew's video camera while I was answering calls.
Okay.
Why not have some entertainment for myself?
Well, see, I don't have any respect for the pop culture nowadays.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean,
I don't know what's up with the pop culture.
I totally feel like it completely killed good music,
Oh, man, yeah.
What does this mean? What are we talking about?
I mean, I would like on VH1 a couple months ago when they were doing the 100 greatest albums of rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Britney Spears' list?
Did I see her list?
No, I missed that.
Oh,
she on
gosh.
the list?
She had NSYNC, Mariah Carey, Backstreet Boys, and, and I don't even remember what the #1 album was, but it was like NSYNC or something, and I was just like, suck up,
Yeah. Yes, I agree! All right, what's up with you? Well, you're 15. This is good. This is the kind of thing you should be thinking about.
Right. See?
Well, see, I have more respect for, like, the Beatles or Stevie Ray Vaughan or,
right.
Because
you have older siblings or cousins or something? Your parents were hippies.
Actually.
Parents were hippies.
But listen, you're gonna be pregnant in 6 months with your love of Stevie Ray Vaughan.
No way. I stay completely away from boys. I have my life focused on making music and doing good in school.
You're fat.
All right.
What?
All right, baby. That's great. Thanks for calling. Hey, let me ask you guys this. I was trying to get an answer to this question at the office today. You know how there are bands that cool people say they like?
Yeah.
You know when we have a cool band in here and we ask them what bands they like, they'll never give you a band that you've ever heard of.
Right.
Because it makes you cool.
Right.
And then there are bands that you need to like that make you cool.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone asks you who you're listening to or who you're influenced by, you tell them, and they can't question you on it because they don't listen to this person. They've just heard of this person, and they can't never question you on it.
Right.
I've decided in the 1970s, we decided in the office it was Lou Reed. Lou Reed was the guy to say you were into, that made you cool, that no one could ever question you on.
Yeah.
In the 1990s, Radiohead was the band to say you were into that made you cool, that no one really questioned you too much on. And Radiohead has gotten more popular in the last couple of years, but go back about 3 or 4 years, tell people you're into Radiohead, and they just thought you were cool, and they couldn't question you on it. Who was it in the 1980s? Was it R.E.M.? Early. Think about it. R.E.M. got sort of famous toward the later part of the 80s. You know, early, mid-80s. Let's say R.E.M. would have done that. Erasure, you idiot.
The Cure.
The Cure?
No, they got too big. They got too big.
The Cure,
early Cure. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Too many people. You see, people, they have to be like Lou Reed, where people have heard of Lou Reed and the Velvet Underground, whatever. They just can't name any albums, and have never seen them.
In the 80s, it was super alternative was in, so it would have been like Bow Wow Wow or Nina Hagen or something.
Still heard of.
Really?
I think. All right. I'm looking at a video of Fidel Castro right now and talking to Wayne, who's 15. Wayne?
Hi, I got, this girl a couple days ago. She, I don't know if she was hitting me or nothing, but I think she was. I, in the past, have had problems with girls and, things I say, and I'm just trying not to screw this one up.
You think this girl likes you?
I think she does, but I'm not sure, because she asked me a lot of personal questions. And I'm kind of just wondering of what I should say not to screw it up.
I understand. Was she at school?
Yeah.
And you just met at a class or something?
No, I met her on the bus.
The bus going to school?
No, on the way home.
Do you see her every day?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And
do you ride the bus with her every day?
It all depends on my schedule.
Why don't you keep making sure you're on the bus at the same time and just keep a conversation going? Just start asking her some personal questions.
Okay.
Yeah, like, do you douche?
Yeah.
When's the last time you had a solid movement?
What do you think of pop culture?
Yeah. Can you sit down next to her on the bus?
I don't know. The bus is always usually crowded. It's way overfilled.
Yeah, but let me explain something. And Drew, you remember these days when you had to do a little angling to catch a fish.
Mm-hmm.
You knew when she was coming in. You could kind of spot her coming the other way down the sidewalk. You make a little small talk with somebody and start to enter the bus as she's walking onto the bus. Or you do that.
Then you freak when she sits down next to somebody.
Right.
Because there's nowhere for you to go.
Right. Or you do that thing where you get on the bus early, sit there and put your backpack on the seat next to it, kind of fumble with it, but keep an eye up, and when she looks up, then you open the back, slide the backpack off.
No, but here's my movement. So you shoo away 12 people, and then she walks up and walks right past. And you don't say anything.
Well, that's bound to happen, too, but at least you tried, and that's what Wayne needs to do. Joe
from Saratoga?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Joe.
All right.
Okay, Joe.
My question's about recycling.
Yeah.
My grandma's been telling me it's BS for years. My teacher gets pissed off every time I tell him I'm not going to recycle.
Yeah.
What makes her think it's such BS?
Well, she says, "Oh, why should other people make money off my recycling crap?"
So she objects the fact that anyone should run a business in helping the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why does she want to be paid off for her cans and bottles?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, your grandmother's no genius, is she?
She's bright.
Bright?
Yeah, she's a doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And she talks in that crazy grandma voice?
Uh-huh.
What kind of doctor does she do?
What? I think she's X-ray. Or, yeah. Well, that's what she tells me.
Well, everyone who works at a hospital is not a doctor, though,
Yeah, Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to look into this, but there's no time. Hey, Joe?
Yeah.
Let's heal some babies.
Yeah, you got to have bigger fish to fry than the recycling, don't you? Just recycle.
Just recycle?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, buddy?
Yeah, couldn't hurt.
Couldn't hurt, as they say.
I'd like to say...
Okay, buddy.
All right. Yeah,
all right. Where's Saratoga?
I have no idea. Florida?
It sounds like Florida, but I'm thinking of that sounds like Sarasota. Where's Saratoga, Joe? Oh, man, the one piece of information we wanted to get out of him. It's in Florida? Anderson says Florida. Now I know. Now I know it's not in Florida.
There's definitely a Saratoga, Florida.
All right. But here's the problem. There's maybe 15 Saratogas, and there's 25 Salems, and we got to just put an end to this. Drew and I almost got in a fist fight over Minnesota, Rochester.
Oh, yeah.
We're on a plane. I was yelling Rochester's that way.
Yeah,
he was saying Rochester's this way. Turns out I was talking about Rochester, New York, and he was talking about Rochester. Was it Rochester?
No, Rochester.
Rochester. He was talking about Rochester, Minnesota. And I almost pushed his head through the emergency door.
We pulled out maps.
Pulled out maps. I was drunk. I started flailing on him. And we're talking about, we were both right, is my point. How many do we need? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certainly we couldn't be the first person who's confused by this. Teresa?
Yes.
You're 30?
Yes.
I'm watching Fidel Castro in an army outfit.
That's all he wears.
Just to address Drew and his family.
Ah, very interesting.
Yeah.
It was very interesting.
Go ahead.
There's a comedy clip about to come up here.
All right. One of the kids wets themselves, or what happens? Just leave it, Drew. Go ahead, Teresa.
Okay, well, I think the phone screener might have answered my question. I wanted to know if it's possible for a woman to squirt cum, and he says only out of my mouth.
Oh, my God. Our screener become abusive.
Hey, you notice Castro's starting to look like Tommy Chong.
Oh, yeah. Very definitely.
Yeah. What? Yeah, it is possible.
Yes. Yeah, some women do, and some women do all the time. Some women do sometime, and some women never do. And it's perfectly normal. And strangely, women have a lot of sort of embarrassment about this and don't talk about it, but it's very common. Here's the comedy.
All right.
Because it happened with my boyfriend, and he thought I peed on him.
Yeah, there is that, too. There is, that's my family leaving Castro.
But it didn't smell like your...
No, there is orgasmic incontinence, but more often than not, it's just a glandular debris and sort of a same kind of fluid that a man would emit from different glands around the area.
It can squirt up, right?
How high up? I mean, if you're lying on your back, what's it do? Does it go straight up?
His face is 3 inches away. I mean, it squirted him in the eye, and he freaked.
Well, is that up or out?
Well, I wasn't watching. My head wasn't at that
okay.
Most guys are impressed when they can produce something.
Yeah.
He should feel good about it.
Did it hurt? Yeah.
It won't hurt him, won't hurt you.
So, according to the videotape, Drew's wife and daughter had an ass full of Fidel and decided to hit the road, probably do some shopping.
No, then I took the other kids out.
Oh, you did?
They were going nuts. This is an hour and a half in.
This is?
Hour and a half.
Yeah, they got bored after hearing Fidel talk about his crazy stories about his... He just got real plans for the revolution.
That's sleep.
People sleeping.
Sleep.
Of course.
Wait, watch this.
Well, you think an 8-year-old wants to hear Fidel Castro?
My kid's going insane.
Of course. It's just passed out. Drew's...
Wait, it gets better.
Drew's panning around. I want you to picture this. Drew has a video camera on Fidel Castro in one of these... these generic halls that they have, these international meetings.
The communists have especially.
Yeah, communists have. You see them on like CNN and C-SPAN and stuff, and they also kind of look like those NATO rooms. It's like a bunch of. It's sort of a half circle. Guy stands in front, holds 500-600 people. And everyone sits there with a weird sort of desk chair thing and a half circle around, and a microphone and a little earplug, a little earpiece that translates everything. Castro's on stage talking about communism and how they're just moments away from taking over the world with this. Meanwhile, Drew pans around with the camera, and every kid in the place is sawing logs. And not when you get older, you learn to fall asleep tactfully. where you still kind of look like you're paying attention. But not this. Kids curled up in a fetal position on the desk.
Strewn all over the
Strewn about. It was really like there was some sort of horrible train wreck and bodies were just thrown everywhere.
Somebody said he was talking to us as though we weren't there. So we started behaving like he couldn't see us.
Right.
It was crazy.
All right. We're going to take ourselves a little break. I'm being amused by Drew's videotape of his vacation to South America. And we'll be back after this. Hey, y'all. Loveline. I'm Adam. That's Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. All right. We'll get back to the phones. Drew, didn't we take a female orgasmic
I thought this might be an
call?
interesting follow-up on that.
Okay. We got a little theme going here. Catherine?
Hi.
Hi.
I've been listening to you guys for about a month, and I've learned an awful lot. I'm 28 years old. I've been in some relationships, but sex has never really been my thing. I've always been real scared of sex. I've met this amazing man. He's real experienced sexually. We're doing amazing things together. And Dr. Drew was talking about something called a pushing orgasm or something like that. And I've never had an orgasm with another person before. I'd only had one with myself. And it's really hard for me to have one with a man, obviously, until now. Now, last night, he was using his hand, and he was doing all this stuff, and he was talking to me, and to make a long story short, I had an orgasm, but when I was driving home, my pants were wet. Now, it wasn't just like wet. It seemed like they were really wet. And I sort of blew it off. He didn't say anything to me. I figured if I would have peed on his hand, he would have told me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So tonight, we're doing the same kind of thing. He's doing the hand thing and oral sex, and I'm pushing, and
baby came out.
I'm contracting, and I'm pushing, and the same kind of wetness happened, and my sheet was all wet, and he didn't say anything. And when we were done, I asked him, I said, honey, I'm really embarrassed to say this. I'm really humiliated, but I think I peed on your hand. And he goes, it's not pee, honey. I go, no, I think it's pee. And he smelled the sheets on the bed and everything. He's like, it's not pee. It's pee, Adam.
Well, there is such a thing as peeing during orgasm, but more often than not, it's not.
But I've never had orgasms before until now. But
okay, well, now you're having them.
The thing that you said.
The what?
And it's working.
The pushing thing?
You said this pushing thing.
You did once talk about pushing out an orgasm.
Okay.
You said that was your technique, your patented technique.
Thank you.
But I think I'm not going to the bathroom, but I think there's like something coming, a little pee coming out of me.
There's a couple things here. Hang on, Catherine.
What's this guy do for a living?
He's in masonry, he's a bricklayer, but he was in the Army for 10 years. He just recently got out of the Army.
I smelled construction on this dude. You know why? You know why? Because construction dude don't mind getting his hands dirty. You know, I mean, this guy's working with lime and mortar all day long. He don't mind a little push gush on him when he's down there at work.
Push gush. And then the little sort of animalistic move.
He treats me like no man's ever treated me physically.
All right. Listen, baby. Hey, Screwball.
Yeah.
Were you on drugs at some point?
God, no.
Medication, you mean, or?
No.
Well, I've had several back surgeries.
Oh, there you go.
And I thought my orgasm problem was nerve damage, but it's not because I'm having them now.
All right.
You don't take Vicodin?
No. I did. I have. I'm not right now.
You ever get strung out on painkillers?
No.
You never been strung out on it?
I've taken them when I have a flare-up.
You've never been strung?
But only as prescribed.
Shut up. You never been strung out on anything?
No.
Okay. Your dad molest you?
Why are you asking me that?
Because you
got that vibe.
Yeah.
Because what?
Little molestation in the past?
The energy, you're totally flipped out about your function of your genitalia.
You know why? Because I'm nervous. I'm so nervous, and because I've never had an orgasm before.
Anybody molest you?
I had a problem when I was 10 years old.
All right. Who did that?
My butler.
Oh, your brother?
Your brother?
Butler.
Butler?
Alfred did this? You had a butler?
Mr. Winston.
Yeah, His name was Derek.
You had a butler named Derek?
Derek.
Okay, hold on, baby. You live in Canoga Park. They outlawed butlers in Canoga Park like 35 years ago.
I live in Canoga Park. I have detached from my family.
Oh, they're
my family
back
doesn't. My
east?
family is very big in the movie business.
Okay. All right, baby. Are they from the East Coast?
No, my dad's chairman of a major studio.
All right, baby. When
Obviously, I'm saying too much. I'm on the radio.
Okay, all right.
I peed on your hand.
Okay, baby.
Hold on. Wait, let's keep on. Let her talk.
Oh, no, we got to go to break.
Oh, we do. Let's come back to Catherine.
All right, listen, I like the butler thing.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
And the butler giving her the goose, and a butler named Derek. I mean, don't you have to change your name to Holmes or something?
Movie business.
Alfred.
L.A.
Okay. Well, Jeeves. All right, we'll get back to this. I got to sort through this after this. Hello, everybody. It's Loveline. I'm Adam. That is Dr. Drew. And we got a nice, long run of Loveline here. We got ourselves a nice block of like 20-something minutes to go here. So, uninterrupted. So, Catherine.
Adam, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
Or tell you one thing? And I'm really sorry about this.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did it, but I lied on instinct. I do have an opiate problem. I'm addicted to Lortab.
All right. Well, there you go. So,
but I've also had many back surgeries.
all right, but listen.
Okay.
Back surgeries notwithstanding, you need to get off the Lortab. You're an opiate addict. And the back pain will not... I can't tell you how many people I treat.
But the pain is horrible.
Catherine, probably one a day that people come in with the overwhelming back pain, and magically the pain gets a hell of a lot better when we get them off the opiates. You've got to get off the opiates. You're an opiate addict. It needs to be done.
I have done that. I went to Exodus. I went to Betty Ford. I went to the Daniel Freeman Pain Clinic. I lived there for 6 weeks.
Well, not that, but how did you do when you were at, where'd you say you were, Tarzana?
Exodus.
No.
Exodus. How'd you do at Exodus?
I did really well, but then once I go back to work... and
Well, there you go. But the pain is magically better when you go back to work, and if you're not working... First of all, you shouldn't be going back to work for at least 6 months. You should be in a sober living. You should be working on your recovery, and then consider going back to work.
I just got out of a sober living. I was at this place... I don't want to say the name, but I just got out of there. I was there for 8 months.
But you see how you do well when you're there.
Yeah, but my doctor had me on 6... I'm allotted 6 Lortab a day.
No, you're not going to stay sober if you're on any of those.
Hey, listen. And what about doing some work on the guy who molested you, the butler who molested you? I mean, some little therapy.
I mean, what can I do about it? It happened, you know.
Well, you do a little therapy.
Have you been seeing therapists throughout the treatment?
Well, I mean, I have counselors, chemical dependency counselors.
Yeah.
Are you a dual diagnosis?
No.
No, you're just an opiate addict.
I'm definitely just an opiate addict.
Yeah.
How about, how about something for being molested when you were 10? Forget about the opiates.
But you know what? I've got it.
Dr. Drew, have you ever heard of a school called Cascade?
No, I've not. But listen, I've got a good referral for you. You stay on the line. I've got somebody I think would work for you, okay?
All right.
I do.
Listen, and thanks for being straight with us.
Yeah.
I got 2 things.
But that's why she can't orgasm. She's on opiates. You can't orgasm well when you're on opiates, or normally.
She can pee pretty good.
I think I peed on your hand.
I heard 10 words out of her, and I said opiates or just strung out. I meant strung out. I didn't get booed. I didn't get booze or weed.
Yeah.
I got drugs, like heroin is what I was getting. Is opiate a whole lot different than the heroin?
No, same thing.
Because I got the heroin sound from her.
Yeah.
And then I got some molestation sound.
She may have been a heroin addict one time. You want to ask her?
No, I don't know. No. Listen, I'm tired of being right, Drew.
Yeah.
I'm right so much it hurts. Okay? All right. Hey, Allison?
Yes.
You're 20?
Yes.
You want to know why Drew always asks where callers' dads are?
Yeah.
I always ask that.
Well, yeah, you both do.
All right. Well, it's relevant. When did your dad rape you? Yeah,
No.
that's my usual call.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it makes a difference. We can tell where people are.
Okay, well, then how come, like, when parents get divorced or whatever, how come, like, 9 times out of 10, they always live with their mom? Like, if the dad is so important and, like, that aspect, why do they always go with their mom?
Because mom is more important. And what we ask is, what's your relationship like with your dad? And what's happened with him? Where's he gone? Dad, they could live with the mom, but see the dad 3 days out of the week.
Right.
I mean, that could certainly happen, and that's fine.
Yeah,
but,
you don't have to live with him. It'd be nice, but in this day and age, I think it's asking a lot that you actually live with your parents. But as long as you're on good terms with Dad, you're okay, especially as a girl. If you're on bad terms with Dad as a girl, there's trouble.
Or if Dad abandoned the family, it has a relevance.
Yeah. Why? Where's your dad?
Oh, I mean, my dad is like my best friend. My parents actually were divorced, and we ended up living with my dad.
Good.
But that usually means that when that happens, I mean, mom's usually very troubled when that's the case.
Yeah, she had some trouble.
Yeah,
right.
And so that's, we know then also that that's a sign that the mom has really got problems.
Okay. Well, you got it good with your dad, but now your problem is you don't got it good with your mom.
Oh, now it's great with my mom.
Oh, okay.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, you're fine, baby.
Yeah.
This stuff can all be healed. Maybe that's the misconception people have. Somehow people are condemned to, a life eternity of trouble. But everybody's got to be willing to work on this and work hard.
Well, here's the reality is it's sort of like I was watching this 60 Minutes the other night, and they were talking about dieters, and 95% of people put the weight back on. People, they drop 100 pounds, they drop 250 pounds, but 95% of people who lose weight put the weight back on. So it's 95-5 that you're going to put the weight back on. Does that mean you shouldn't do it? No. And does it mean that you're not going to be that 5%? No. It just means it's going to be some work. I mean, it's the same. Here's what we're saying, Drew. So many people get screwed early in life, and then they just walk through life with a limp.
Yeah, not limp, but
dragging their lower half, and they don't fix themselves, and they could fix themselves, and we wish they would, and we tell them to, but most people don't.
Right?
Is it? Can it be done? Of course, it can be done, and it's not that it's a process, but it's not that big a deal. But most people won't engage in that, and therefore they don't. And so I don't hold out a lot of hope for people sometimes, Sam, even though I know it's not easily done, but it's a process that can be accomplished.
Did I tell you I finished my first, hang on a second, Sam. I finished my first draft of my book.
Yeah.
And it's about how sick people are these days and what they need to do to get better and what the process is like a little bit.
All right. Well, I'm not going to read it, but okay.
You will.
Sam?
I'll put it on the tape for you. I'll read it.
You read it to me. Sam, you're 27. What's up?
Hey, I love you guys. Listen to you guys all the time. First-time caller. Adam, you're cool. Drew, got a couple questions here.
All right, dude.
A friend of mine, his name is Steve. He smokes a lot of pot, or doesn't smoke a lot, but he smokes pot, and he starts twitching. He's also an insomniac. What could be the cause of that? Like, could it be serious? Should I tell him to get some help?
What do you mean twitching? Describe to me what you're talking about.
Like he'll just sit there and suddenly his arms will flail about, or his leg will kick out or something.
Huh.
Or he'll just move his head, cock his head, and wave his arms in the air real quick for no reason.
That's actually cool. Was it both arms or one arm?
Both arms.
Huh.
You got to watch him because this is one of these jokers who'll knock over the bong and you're screwed. These bongs are 8 feet high and they're 3/4 of an inch thick and they fall over.
It's about 4 foot.
They're 4 foot high and they hold 35 gallons of bong water.
3 chambers.
Yeah.
Interesting. Does he on any other medication or any other drugs at the time?
No, he's not on any kind of medication or not taking any of the drugs. Just smokes out. Doesn't even drink really. I've never seen him drink even once.
It may not mean anything. It's sounds like something called bulismus, which is where the part of the brain called the basal ganglia doesn't work quite right. And interestingly, pot can lower seizure threshold. These could be basically seizure-type phenomenon sort of surfacing. And if it probably doesn't mean a hell of a lot, but if you're being proper about this, you'd certainly have it evaluated.
Well, maybe the guy's got something going on with his brain electrodes, and he needs to get checked out.
More importantly, I'd be worried that he might have someday a primary seizure disorder. That, particularly if he's doing a lot of drugs, it might eventually surface, and he could be driving a car or something.
All right.
And so that's my concern.
Good times. Nicole?
Yeah?
You're 17?
Yeah.
What's up?
This guy I've been seeing for like 6 months, he won't commit to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
What do you mean commit?
You get married?
He won't, like, say, okay, we're boyfriend-girlfriend.
Well, maybe he doesn't want a girlfriend.
Well, he keeps saying that he wants to be with me and everything. He loves me, blah, 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 which pretty much, I don't know if I believe half the time. But he just doesn't want to take that extra step and put a title on us.
Well, how often do you see him?
Pretty much every day.
Every day. He's how old?
23.
Is he dating other people?
No.
What's with a 23-year-old dating a 17-year-old? He is a world-class dick.
Yeah, it is kind of dickish behavior.
Yeah.
What's he doing with his life?
He just graduated from college, and he's going back to school for some computer thing.
Uh-huh. He's going to a 4-year?
No.
No. It's just community.
Ah, well, that's not college. Please, everyone, stop calling that college. It's confusing. do you understand? I mean, you understand why it's confusing? Because you go, well, he graduated college, and he's heading back now to get his master's.
Yeah, you're trying to do the math. He's 23. Why is he going back? Master's? Is that right? No.
No, all I'm saying is you're picturing a guy who's wearing a cardigan sweater and a bow tie, carrying a laptop and a stack of books under his arm, with this handful of Brill cream in his hair, and then all of a sudden you hear junior college, and the books go down to the ground, and the guy picks up a hash pipe, and his pants come down, his underpants hang out of the back of his pants, his hair gets all disheveled, and the hacky sack, and then he has a goatee and a nipple piercing. You know what I'm saying? It turns into a different dude.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
And it's confusing. See, now we're getting a picture of this guy. Well, here's the thing. I don't understand if you guys are seeing each other. You're having sex, right?
Yeah.
And you weren't 16 when you met this guy, were you?
No, 15.
We've known each other for like 5 years.
Oh.
That's weird.
You were 13, he was 18?
Yeah.
Well, he probably has other children.
Well, I mean, he was in college, so we really didn't do anything. And,
how'd you meet?
Graduated and...
How'd you meet?
He lives down the street from me.
Yeah.
All right, this guy is like a problem.
Still living at home?
Yeah.
He is.
This guy's an idiot.
He's more than an idiot. The reason he won't have a girlfriend is he needs another 13-year-old.
Why do you need this guy? I mean, what's so great about this guy?
He was my first.
I
love him.
We got time invested.
Yeah,
what's up?
He was my first.
Can't you find a decent guy?
Well, I mean, I've got, you're probably going to say something, but I've got a 2-year-old daughter.
Oh.
So it's not his, but he's really good with her.
How old was the guy who impregnated you when you were 14?
He was 15.
Ooh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Caramel came out of my penis at 15. It wasn't semen.
Wasn't taffy?
No, I think it was caramel. Taffy came out of my ass. 15, knocking somebody up. Wow. He's really good with the 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Well,
what am I do to the 2-year-old?
What do you mean? I mean, he doesn't eat the 2-year-old? What's he doing? He doesn't want to be your girl. He won't even commit to being your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, boyfriend. All right. I don't know. Where are you living at home?
Yeah.
Do you need a guy right now? I mean, can you focus on you and your 2-year-old and making a life?
No, I have been doing that.
Because this guy, the 2-year-old, is going to get attached to this joker who doesn't want a commitment.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
That's going to be real bad for her.
And I know
she already is, though.
Right. Okay. Listen, Nicole.
Yeah.
You tell this guy you're going to need a label on this relationship.
I've told him that so many times, though.
Okay, and then you move on.
Yep.
He's an idiot. He's going to junior college. He's living at home, and he's 23, and he's dating a 17-year-old that, by the way, he's known for 5 years, so it makes it extra weird. So just do it, and don't get pregnant again, would you?
No, I don't plan on it.
Okay, you sound smart.
What are you using for contraceptives?
Excuse me?
Contraception? What are you using?
Condoms and birth control.
What kind of birth control?
Yeah.
What kind?
Merced.
Okay.
I've been on that for like 2 years.
All right,
baby.
Okay.
All right, screw this guy. Not literally. Dump him. Okay. Let's talk to Rachel.
Hey, speaking of contraceptive, you know that they finally now have transdermal contraceptive patches. 1 a week.
Transdermal means sticks on the skin?
Yep, once a week.
Stick a patch?
Yep.
And
Ortho Evra.
You know, it's funny. There's a little sticker's a baby with a slash going through it.
That's what it says on the outside.
It says on the sticker, yeah.
The Gerber baby baby face.
Well, you can get different ones. You can get the Canadian flag. Yeah. I've seen all different ones. I've seen the Rams helmet on them.
You know, there's something in that. Just people are into these tattoos. Just make the contraceptive patch like a cool tattoo. And
you see that contraceptive patch, you know that chick's open for business. By the way. Then where do you put it, on your forehead?
On chest, abdomen.
Actually,
back,
you put it over
arms.
your vagina.
Yeah.
There's no agent in it at all. Just actually blocks the penis from getting into the vagina.
It works beautifully.
Hey, Rachel, what's up?
Hi, Adam. Hi, Dr. Drew.
Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Thank you for a very entertaining and informative show.
Well, thanks for listening.
Love your show.
Thanks. What's up?
Well, I just had an idea for Adam, and this is my idea. I think we should stamp out reckless procreation.
Yes.
It's a big problem.
Reckless procreation. I like that. It rolls off the tongue. It's poetic.
That's my little thing I've come up with.
Nice.
I used to work at Child Protective Services for about 11 years, and I was a receptionist there, so I saw everything at my window. Yeah, and I just thought maybe we could get together a sterilization SWAT team.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Adam was going to use the military, actually.
I know, but what I'm thinking is there might be a nice Victorian house in a neighborhood somewhere we could save, that might have glass doorknobs and some really nice, details. And that way we won't take out the whole neighborhood.
Oh, she's afraid your military team is going to take out the nice houses and stuff.
Yeah, that we could renovate.
No napalm.
And we gentrify the neighborhood.
Maybe want to call a strike in.
Yeah.
Do my carpet bombing.
Yeah. Or you could use a neutron bomb. That might work, but then you might get innocent people.
Listen, I believe, and I know you must know from working at Child Protective Services. I mean, it must have just broken your heart to see the
a 2-month-old in a body cast. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Oh God.
But what about this? And obviously that's sad enough. But what kills you is these sort of junky hillbillies who come in there and they got 5 kids.
Yeah.
Not the one that they're abusing, the 5, and the chick's pregnant.
And a combined IQ of 100.
Yeah. I've said this many, many, many times, but as you know, this show's just pretty much turned into me repeating things I've said many, many, many times, including the statement I've said this many, many, many times, which coincidentally I've just said 3 times now, Drew. Just say it again?
You've said it many, many, many times.
Thank you. The world
to the tune of many times.
I could cure the world. Just stop having troublemakers procreating. It'd be very easy.
Oh, yes.
Everybody, it's very easy.
It resonates with me, my brother, let me tell you.
Thank you. I mean, I've seen Drew's 3 kids, and I know we don't have to worry about them. We just don't. And people love to break this down behind economic lines and color lines. Untrue. I don't care what color you are, and I don't care how much money you make. If you can provide a loving environment for your kids and take care, and the money factors in. You got to put food on the plate and dress the kids and have them taken care of medically and all that stuff. If you can take care of your kids and love your kids, you can have your kids, and then we will live in a utopia without frivolous lawsuits, without having to set the car alarm, without LoJack, without those steel screens, without the liquor stores with the 3-inch thick plexiglass that'll sustain a shotgun blast. Think about the life, everybody. Think about going through the airport without going through the metal detector. Think about leaving the keys on the seat of the car as you leave it on the street at night. Think of the utopia that we would live in if screwballs stopped having kids and screwing them up and turning them into drug addicts, criminals, and bilkers of the system. Because everybody, like I said, picture that family, that loving family, and then picture their kids. We got to worry about them? Oh, yeah, once in a while you get a bad seed and you get a little white-collar crime going, so some guy embezzles some money from the bank he worked with. BFD. You get rid of all the gangs, all the drive-bys, all the random all the random street crime. You close up the prisons. You shut up the court systems because you don't have these freaks that are on their 15th lawsuit in the last 14 months. You have good, decent people with a nice moral foundation. I'm telling you, it is 1% of this country that's effing it for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't do a thing. The government won't stand up. Now, you can be as poor as you want, as dumb as you want, as strung out as you want, and have as many kids as you want.
What a bunch of pussies.
We won't say a goddamn thing about it because we're scared S-less. Okay.
All right, we're going to break.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I could do another 5 minutes.
I know you could.
What else do you want to do to fix this country? What else? You want to talk about NAFTA? Do you want to talk about building more prisons? Do we want to talk about pollution controls? Do we want to just keep talking about every individual topic, or do we want to talk about the one topic that's going to impact all of these topics favorably? The one that'll get rid of all of it. Oh, start talking about crime. Start talking about cops. Start talking about prisons. Start talking about beefing up the borders. Start talking about drugs and how we're going to do away with the guys that are growing poppy in South America and all that stuff. No. Start talking about effed up people having effed up kids, and we'll do away with all of it. It's the most obvious equation in the world. Okay, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, Loveline. I'm Adam. That's Dr. Drew. A little System of a Down for you. They're going to be in here on Thursday, and we're always glad to see those guys. So
we're going to go out to dinner
night.
with John?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we're going to go out for some Armenian food with those guys on Thursday night.
Cool.
Love that stuff.
We've been talking about this for 2 years.
Here's let me explain Armenian food to a lot of people. They kill like 5 animals, they roast it, and they just put a ton of onions on it, and then you sit there and eat it with pita bread. While the waiter tries to sell you on some yogurt-based soft drink. Oh, it is kashush. It's delicious. It's delicious.
You have it with your shawarma.
You have it with shawarma. What's the kashush? Oh, it's great. It's refreshing. Always watch out for refreshing.
Yeah.
Like my grandfather used to call buttermilk refreshing. Nothing. My grandmother said, nothing quenches the thirst. Like, but yeah, it quenches the thirst. I mean, you have a sip, you spit it out, you don't want any more. You not wanting any more doesn't mean your thirst has been quenched. You just had enough of that crap. It is, what is it? It is goat milk, yogurt, raw yogurt, plain yogurt, lemon and vinegar, and paprika. You guys don't got Pepsi? No, it is kushush. It's yogurt-based. Listen, I got news for all the countries of the world that are trying to do their own soft drinks. Just drink the goddamn Coke and the Pepsi. Your yogurt-based stuff ain't cutting it. Mexico, they got this rice stuff.
What's the milk drink? They've got the rice milk.
That's horchata. Horchata.
When Susan was pregnant with triplets, every night she had a craving for horchata.
Well, at least the Mexicans are smart that they dump tons and tons of sugar
yeah.
and then cinnamon in it, and then you can't really tell. But here's the deal. If you took a ton of sugar and a ton of cinnamon and just put it in regular milk, it would be better than a rice milk crap. Okay. So we'll go out for going for some Armenian food. It is quenching.
No.
Stephanie?
Mm-hmm.
You're 17?
Yes.
What's up?
Well, like last year in April, I started fooling around with this guy who was across the street from me.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, every time I tried to, like, leave, like, get him to leave me alone, like, he'd come back and he'd be like, oh, I want you,
So he's into you too much, huh?
Huh?
He's really into you now.
Yeah, and I have a boyfriend, and, like, I don't know, every time, like, it's been with, like, I've had, like, 3 boyfriends since, like, we started fooling around, and, like, I keep seeming to, like,
cheat on them with him, and like I keep telling him, just leave me alone,
How old is he? How old is he?
He's 19.
Well, but you're not leaving him alone, or he's not leaving you alone. I mean,
he's not leaving me alone.
but you're cheating with him.
Well, it's not like I have
randomly reinforced behaviors cannot be extinguished. That's a conditioning paradigm in mammals.
She has no idea what you're talking about.
In other words, it's when there's a famous study done by behavioral scientists.
Right.
I'm not finding words tonight. Where they randomly would sort of drop food down to a pigeon, and the behaviors that initiated in order to get the food in the first place, if the food randomly reinforced these behaviors, those behaviors became fixed.
So what Drew is saying is, if this guy comes over and gets some off you, and then comes over 10 times in a row and gets nothing, and then gets some on the 11th time, and then comes over 5 times in a row and gets something, and then goes a month without it. It's so random, but it makes him think that this time something could happen.
That makes the behavior. If you'd be much better off just being with him. Who's that? You there?
Yeah.
15 times in a row, and then cutting him off. That's a behavior.
Then taking those 15 times and spreading them out over 1,000 visits.
Right.
Yeah, that would keep me coming too.
Get him to just.
Well, what are you doing with him? You're cheating on your boyfriends with him, right?
I haven't I haven't done anything with him since October.
All right. Well, here's what you got to do.
Are you having sex with him?
Yeah.
And like I said, when you have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
What's up, baby?
She gets abusive boyfriends that she gets pissed off with.
Well, see, I haven't done anything with him since October.
Yeah, well, you got to make it clear to him it's never going to happen again, and cease contact with him, and it will die off, but it will take a while. If you have sex with him,
because he lives right across the
well, it's the way it goes. If you have sex with him again, expect him to keep coming back.
Okay.
Okay, so he can come over every day for 5 months and nothing can happen, and then
all of a sudden
something happens, and now you've just bought yourself another 5 months.
You bought yourself 10 months.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So if you mean it, and I'm not so sure you do because something ends up happening, but if you really mean it, you got to act that way.
Okay.
And don't even discuss it with him.
Yeah.
Just he's gone.
It's a behavioral thing.
Yeah, because I tell him, I was like,
All right.
Time out for him.
It's enough. Just don't do it. Because I want to talk to this submissive dominatrix thing over here. Michelle, you're 16?
Yeah.
You're into the dom sub?
Yeah.
That's domination, submission?
Yeah.
All right. You're into that?
Yeah, and now you're going to talk to me like I'm weird because of it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I usually talk to people because they're weird because they call the show.
Yeah, okay.
But now you're in a super sub weird group of the dom sub folks.
Okay, I want to know...
Sub, weird, dom sub.
That's right.
I want to know if it tells you that I like it this early in life, because...
It means something.
Yeah.
Where do you think it came from?
I don't know. I mean, well, I learned about it off the internet.
No.
Yeah, but why were you interested in it, you think?
I don't know. I really don't.
Was anyone rough with you?
Growing up?
I was raped when I was 4 years old.
Yeah, there you go. That'll set the stage. Gee, what would that have to... No, that would set the stage. And then, to my guess, you need a little sprinkling of physical abuse in there.
No.
To really reinforce it.
It's funny, but you don't say molested at 4, you say raped.
Yeah.
Is there a difference? I mean, did somebody hurt you?
Well...
Like it was a violent event?
I didn't know what was going on. I just figured out that I was raped 3 or 4 years ago. And, because I thought he was playing a game with me. I thought this was what friends were supposed to do. He's, 12 years old, and I'm, 4, and he's like, yeah, let's play this game. Let me put this here, and...
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't want to, and...
Wonder where this guy is today.
He moved to England.
I've done a bunch of research.
Good.
Yeah.
Let him rape all he wants over there.
Yeah. Done a bunch of research lately trying to figure out if anyone knows why this happens to the brain, why these highly intrusive sexualized experiences create these tremendous arousals around sort of abnormal focuses later in life, such as dominatrix, submissiveness, these sorts of things that become now highly arousing because of these early events, and no one has really worked out that biology yet.
Well, how much are you engaging in this?
Not much. My boyfriend right now kind of like acknowledges it, but doesn't acknowledge it. I mean, he lets me call him master, but we don't really do anything in the line of that. I mean, like, he doesn't really like it.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Jeannie call Colonel Blake that?
Yes.
Colonel
Blake?
I don't remember. Was it Major Healy?
Major Healy, yeah. No way.
It was Healy. Well, I thought Healy was his friend. All right, anyway.
Dr.
Bellows?
Bellows, yeah.
Here's my point.
Major Nelson.
Major Nelson. I would not mind being called master once in a while, except for by black people. If like my girlfriend was black, that'd be weird. But master is fine. Yeah. So you call him master?
Yeah.
And when you guys have sex, do you have sex?
Yeah.
And do you get into it with him when he's doing that?
What do you mean get into it?
Well, I mean,
like, I call him that, but
yeah,
he's not really into tying me up or...
Right.
He doesn't behave like a master.
No, he doesn't.
All right, that's very disappointing.
Yeah. Well, see, he's kind of a normal dude.
He's a normal guy.
And he's weirded out by this.
Or not weirded out, he doesn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't occur to him.
There's probably a kernel of weirdness in his brain about this, too. Like, geez, I got this nut job. Okay, so, and when you say dom sub, do you want to be submissive all the time, or do you want to be dominant sometimes?
Mostly I want to be submissive. There's, like, very rarely do I want to be dominant, but there is sometimes that I do.
So you able to get him to have sex this way, or is it not working out?
Not working out.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. You see, I kind of wonder, and I'll just wonder aloud with to Drew, and you can weigh in. Is this like being gay? It's like your uncle molested you, turned you gay, but now what are you going to do? You're 16 and you're gay? I mean, we don't try to talk people out of it at that point. You got a hankering for schlong. You're 16 years old. We know you probably wouldn't have been gay if Uncle Lou didn't get to you, but he did, and what are we going to do about it? Is it the same with this?
It has a similar quality to it.
So do we tell Michelle to knock it off and control herself, or do we say explore it safely?
Well, the problem with it is it tends to become a focus away from intimacy. It's a way of avoiding intimacy. Intimacy becomes too scary, and this becomes sort of an alternative. And it's not so bad if it remains. It's no big deal if it just remains sort of playful and just something that's occasional. But if she really starts getting into it and gets compulsed around it, then it becomes a problem.
Okay.
It really does. The way of that becomes difficult for her to have a real relationship.
So, listen, Michelle.
Yeah?
How about getting a little therapy for the rape?
Well, yeah, I'm already in therapy.
All right.
Okay.
So what would predict a good situation would be that she'll always kind of like this, but it will not become her total experience of a physical encounter.
Right. All right. Let's see. Lisa here has been with 7 guys, cannot have an orgasm.
17. Shocking.
She's 17, right? This other chick hasn't had her period. Mom told her their dad molested her. That's Kim. 2 friends take lots of pills. All right. Well, let's talk to Josh.
The genital warts call.
Josh?
Josh?
Yeah.
25.
Yes.
You scared you might have given your girlfriend genital warts?
Yes.
How come you're scared of that?
I don't know, because I don't want her to have it, and
you do.
Well, I don't mean why would you be scared of giving her genital warts?
What makes you believe you've done that?
Oh, as I contracted genital warts about a year ago.
And you've been having sex with her without a condom?
I had, last night.
Well, okay, well, now you passed it.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Well, one time?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? Drew, you must have warts on warts on you, because I've never heard such a stronger champion for warts.
It's so common and so contagious and so present.
It is, but is one time guarantee the passage? I can't believe that, especially if he's not having any kind of outbreak.
Oh, you don't have any warts present now?
No, I do.
Oh.
See.
All right. Well, there you go.
And is it possible to get rid of it for good, or it's a life?
Some of the warts are, if you control them, they don't come back. Some of them have a limited lifespan and go away by themselves.
Yeah.
But the more persistent, larger ones are the ones that tend to be associated with the cervical cancer. And although no infectious process necessarily transmits at a single contact, this is one of those diseases where it often does.
I saw a wart medication commercial on TV today.
Aldera, yeah, they're starting to
How
advertise.
dare you? What's it
Aldera.
called? Aldera. It's my Italian uncle's name. And Alfredo Dara was his full name. And, it's great. They don't know what to do with these commercials because it's warts. What the hell are you going to do? I mean, you can't. First off,
you can't windsurf over fields of wheat.
Well, now that's for that
or kickbox.
Well, you see, the windsurfing over the fields of wheat is for allergies, and that there's no stigma attached to that,
Right.
so they can do that.
The kickboxing is for herpes.
Herpes, it's chicks living their life and kicking the ass out of heavy bags.
Right.
They're living.
Right.
The whole point is
they're not encumbered.
Yes, these warts and these herpes do not have to hold you down.
Okay.
Somehow they work out.
And you're fighting back.
They work out in this mythical gym. The gyms in these commercials, they're blimp hangers. They have ceilings.
Clear stories.
Yeah. They have ceilings that are 60 stories high with the clear glass, with the wire glass in the top.
But nothing down below.
Then there's a boxing gym in the middle of this area, nothing else around. And everything else is basically dimly lit except for the spotlight on them. And then she's the only chick in the world who's in the gym, and she's working out with her trainer in the middle of the thing.
Heavy bag is suspended from 300 feet high ceiling. By the way,
you can't just have them rubbing their herpes on the gym equipment at the Y. You got to have some kind of bizarre fantasy gym that you're working out in, and she's running on the track and she's kickboxing everywhere. And now the wart commercials are coming out.
I haven't seen them.
Well, here's the important thing. First off, I think they ought to just treat it like anything else. Like that, they have like Rosie, the bounty woman.
Yeah. Or Madge, the
Madge, you're soaking in it. For Palmolive.
Or
Drew, you're really dating yourself.
The Trix Rabbit.
The Trix Rabbit.
Okay.
First off, let's get a mascot going.
Yeah.
Bob the Wart. Yeah, I don't know, but let's get a spokesman. Let's get Tom Arnold or in there, Carrot Top or somebody.
Carrot Top.
Hell, I'd do it if the money was right. We'll get in there, get some kind of spokesman. And like I said, like you had Bronny the Lumberjack for Bounty Towels.
Mr. Sharman,
the Please Don't Squeeze It guy. No. I think we need somebody for these wart commercials. But here's all they do. They show, first off, they show every nationality because you can't just show one nationality in warts. Otherwise, it's implying that only these folks get warts.
But the fact that they do show multiple nationalities does sort of bring to mind the fact that certain ethnicities may have a predilection, which is true.
Oh, that's true? Yeah. I have not heard that. No, and that does not bring that to mind. I mean, when you show one of everybody, it doesn't say that one ethnicity has.
It sort of brings up the ethnicity issue, doesn't it?
Well,
it doesn't do it in a way.
What ethnicity gets warts more easily?
Not more easily. It's just that in certain cities and things, they're Hispanic, tend to have it. In certain
Drew, you're saying people of color deserve warts?
No.
You're saying God gave them warts to punish them because their skin is darker than ours? Okay, that's what it sounded like you were saying. Here's what I'm saying. You have to have one of everybody. Then I always wonder, how desperate a gig is this for this actor? I'm looking at this Asian guy, he's in his 20s. They all got that same sort of pensive look on their face. Sure, they're not happy about warts, but there's a certain quiet confidence that they exude. They're not jovial, and they're not crying. There's that look. That look you give?
That knowing look.
Yes, that knowing, you know what? Here's the look. I got warts, but I ain't ashamed of it, and it's not going to slow me down. I'm young. I got my life ahead of me. I got to spread warts around the world, and that's my mission. That's the look everyone has.
I know how this should work.
They got to have you seen this commercial yet?
Yeah, they need to have the guy getting up in the morning and opening up the medicine cabinet, and there's another guy on the other side of the medicine cabinet.
Hi, guy.
That's what they need. That would do it.
No, listen. They got.
I have not seen the
they got a chick. No, there's chicks walking alone on the beach. There's a lot of nature involved with these sexually transmitted diseases. Meanwhile, the guy got it in some tenement slum in East L.A. But for some reason, everybody's walking. It's hot-looking chicks, good-looking people. You never see any skanks on these commercials. It's good-looking pieces of ass who are getting these warts, which is a little bit confusing to me because, geez, I'd like to nail this wart queen. She's got the dress pulled up and she's walking. She's on some English countryside, and there's a pond and there's different guys. There's lots of fog rolling by, and it's dark, and A lot of people with a determined look on their face. I'd like to be in on one of the meetings at the ad agencies that discusses how we're going to approach this. They never show, now they show the name of it, but they never show the product. They never show the pills or the creams or the whatever. Yes. Then there's a 40-minute disclaimer. Yeah. If you're pregnant, if you're over 4 feet tall, if you're pregnant or think you might be pregnant, if you smoke cigarettes or know somebody who smokes cigarettes.
May cause greasy diarrhea, a fountain odor, stool.
Projectile vomiting and diarrhea, greasy stool, and trench mouth. May also cause more warts, lesions, pancreatic cancer.
Less than 1% of cases of liver failure have been reported by the FDA.
People who ride or own mopeds should not participate in this. Less than 1% of people experience loss of hair and cataract detachment. Okay. It's just a great, they're just great commercials. It's the most entertaining commercial you could ever see, especially at the end when they give that greasy stool part.
Oh, that was a good cream, by the way.
All right, working fine. And should not, I learned from the commercial, be used while having intercourse. You got to wipe down the cream.
Good time.
You don't cream up and then stick it in.
Good time. Yes, it'll burn.
Okay, we'll be back.
Hi, this is Mark from Blink-182, and you are listening to Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew on Loveline. I have a really big dick.
Hey, yo. Loveline. I'm Adam. That's Drew. Watching more footage from Drew's vacation, seeing the crazy monkeys in the Brazilian rainforest.
Costa
Rican rainforest. Now I'm seeing a tree full of bats.
Yeah.
Those bats, Drew?
Yeah.
Kids run around with these monkeys all over their head. Anyone crap on anyone?
No crap. No crap.
Is that an eagle now?
Yeah, eagle.
They got eagles soaring around there?
All kinds of stuff, yeah.
Jesus Christ. I'm from North Hollywood. If I see a snail, I'm really excited. I'm like, oh, my God, look at that. Shh, don't say anything. You'll scare it. I'm going to name it. Jeez, what a life those kids are having.
Mm-hmm.
Dale?
Yep.
You're 17?
Yes, I am.
What's up?
Yeah, I was wondering I've heard you comment about junior colleges all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, because I'm getting out of high school after this year, because I'm a senior in high school, and I was wondering if I should either go into junior college or go enlist into the military.
First of all, don't join the military.
Yeah, you got to do the military.
You think?
Oh, because here's what I want to say about the military versus junior college. The military you'll be done with in 4 years. Okay, you will. I mean, here's what's interesting about the military to me. Drew, stop looking at your video camera now. It's become a distraction for me. Junior college is, you go to junior college when you're a crappy student in high school.
And don't know what you want to do.
And obviously your study habits aren't where they could be, or you're not too bright. And I know I sound like I'm criticizing you, and I am, but I was one of those people. So doing more school for a guy who's not very good at school is a huge waste of everyone's time. Now, junior college may not be a waste of time 10 years from now when you got a little discipline, you got your head screwed on straight, and you know what you want to do with your life. But you didn't know what you want to do with the last few years of your life, and you're not going to know what you want to do for the next few years of your life. You'll go to junior college, you'll kick around for 3 or 4 years, and you'll walk away with nothing.
And military people got to get a sense of worth and discipline and maybe some skills.
Here's the thing about, I'm telling you, if you're not going to a 4-year college, those years between 18 and 22 are wasted. I drank beer, smoked weed, and cleaned carpet and dug ditches on a construction site. And it made all of $8,000 in those 4 years, and just basically lived eating macaroni and cheese, and lived in a 1-bedroom with some idiots and learned nothing and did nothing. It's just a waste, just living. I would have been better off if someone had just froze me with Walt Disney's head and put me on some kind of breathing apparatus. I would have gotten more, it's true, more out of life. You go to the military, you specialize in something, and not something kooky. Like, don't get into something kooky like radar or something like that. Get into like electronics or something,
something mechanical.
Get into something that translates into civilian life.
You're going to fly a jet.
No, you can't do that because you got to go to college. You got to go to college and academy for that. just go learn how to work on something or fix something. Then you get medical and dental for the rest of your life, which is a big deal when you're poor. And you get all these benefits. You can borrow money with low interest rates.
Insurance rates are
if
low.
you want to buy a house, you can get like zero on that. All that for those 4 years that you would have completely wasted at junior college playing hacky sack and scoring weed and doing nothing.
Good point.
Go to the military. But like I said, don't be an idiot. Learn how to do something while you're in the military. And when are you ever going to get a chance to work around $1,000,000 or $1 billion equipment that way ever again? But think about how cool it is.
Yep. Yeah, good point well taken.
First of all, don't join the military.
Okay, we'll be back. All righty, everybody. Well, there's the end of the show.
Hallelujah.
I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank Drew for bringing in the tape of his vacation.
You got to see the Panama Canal.
Yep.
Fidel Castro. What a good
Costa
night.
Rica. Bring in the rest tomorrow night.
All right.
I'll watch. I need something to do during the show.
I understand.
All right?
You've been spoiled now.
Yeah, if not, I'm going to bring my Etch-a-Sketch. We got to stay occupied. So until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying, mahalo. I got warts, but I ain't ashamed of it, and it's not going to slow me down. I'm young. I got my life ahead of me. I got to spread warts around the world, and that's my mission.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the staff, management, sponsors, or this station. The producer for Loveline is Ann Wilkins Ingold. Loveline is a presentation of Westwood One Entertainment.